Hello, how's it going? Welcome back to Good Game Have Fun. This is THP talking to you guys once again, and we are regrouping now after watching the Senran Kagura new title presentation 2018 that gave us a little bit more information on all of the Senran Kagura titles coming out in the future. It was mostly just updates and expanding on stuff that we already knew, and that's what we were, assuming that, that's what we were gonna get going into this. I really had no expectations of something entirely new. I just wanted to see more about Season 2 of the anime, more about Peach Ball, more about SK7, and that's pretty much what we got. I just wasn't expecting seeing what we saw in the order that we saw it. So the presentation opens up with two hosts. We have one guy that for some reason likes to dance in a bikini on the beach, and another girl that let's just not talk about it. The other people that showed up in the presentation was, of course, Kenichiro Takaki himself. We had Hitomi Harada, which is the voice of Asuka, and Yumi Hara, which is the voice of Yumi. We also had another lady there. I'm not entirely sure who she was. I think she was just a supermodel that was there to just kind of, have her boobs be shown to the public. That might have been a mistake on their part, because apparently her boobs were so great and magnificent that YouTube actually took down the stream because it violated their policies on nudity and sexual content. I mean, granted, I thought all the activities that they were doing with the Plinko thing and showing all those Akihabara sites with girls, just bearing their boobs out in front of the camera all the time was a little stupid, a little tacky, and they didn't really have to do it. It would have been great if they just showed the games, but they did this whole thing. But that's just very lightweight, just kind of harmless stuff. I mean, I thought it was stupid, but I don't think it was worth taking down the whole stream for it. But hey, you know how it is. If it's not a late-night talk show or exploiting children, then I guess you just don't deserve to be on YouTube, says I, sarcastically. So those were the people hosting the event this year. This was very much a different thing from last year, where they had like a whole, stage with an audience and people saying. It just felt a little bit more put together. It almost felt like its own little mini E3 press conference in a way. And here they took a complete 180 with something that felt like kind of a botch job, honestly. Everything felt very kind of slapped together at the last moment. The green screen was terrible. Everybody was just kind of awkwardly, kind of cluttered, very close to each other. And I don't know, there was just something about this particular presentation that for some reason felt like everybody came sort of unprepared. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Obviously, I wasn't there, to see the whole thing happen, right? But I would have appreciated it a lot more if it was kind of like last time, where they had a stage and they had press and, people there. They made a bigger show out of it rather than, what a lot of Japanese companies do to show off their stuff, which is just, kind of live stream something, and they're sitting on a table and they just show it and they have their laptops there. It just seemed kind of like, when a bunch of high school students don't study or don't prepare for a project, and then they have to present in front of everybody, and it feels kind of like, loose, sort of in a way. But hey, at least we got the information that we wanted. It was a little bit more low-key, but man, what you gonna do? But anyway, that was the presentation in itself. Obviously, the whole thing is in Japanese, so we couldn't really hear any translations or subtitles. We were just kind of speculating and just, trying to guess what they were talking about for the most part. And of course, we got bored because, they were doing a lot of things that weren't really related to the games at all. And so, yeah, we were, as an American English-speaking audience, we were like, all right, man, come on, show us the games already. And so yes, eventually in this entire 2.5-hour presentation, there were some video games sprinkled all around. And you'd think that they would end the presentation with Senran Kagura 7, but they don't. The first game they show is Senran Kagura 7. A small, tiny little snippet of it, but still, it's something new nonetheless. So now let's move on to the computer screen. Here are all of the articles. I have laid them all out in the order that they appeared in the presentation. So let's get started and take a look at them. So the first thing that we saw for SK7 was a revamped Asuka character model. So Takaki said that they are completely redoing all of the character models for this PlayStation 4 game, Senran Kagura 7, from the ground up. And on top of that, he says that the game in general, not just the character models, but like the whole game, in general, is going to be revamped in many different ways. He did not expand in what ways things are going to be revamped. I mean, we can already see a very clear difference here with the character models. I keep telling you guys, like, I don't understand how they keep making these games look better, but they keep looking better. This honestly looks very reminiscent of those Illusion games, particularly the most recent Illusion game, Koikatsu. It has a very similar art style and very similar lighting. It seems very, very bright. It seems significantly more expressive. It seems like they are really putting all of their eggs in this basket with SK7. They're definitely trying to go all the, the whole 9 yards with this. They are not slacking on this. It's not like Burst Renewal where they're just taking like the current graphics that they got going on and then just inserting them onto a new game. No, like this is an entirely different thing. They said that there would be better breast physics, and I guess this is what this picture is supposed to represent. This one just looks really cool. I like the detailing on the stockings, obviously, the little folds on the clothing. The facial expressions for me are the thing that really get me. Like this, that's what it looks really cool. The figure, just like the body proportions and everything just look really cool. It really makes me curious as to how all of the other characters are going to look like. You know, how's Katsuragi going to look like, how's Miyabi, Homura, and all of the other characters are going to look like. It seems to be a pretty significant improvement from the previous games. And so because we saw so many games with the same style, with Estival versus PBS, Shinobi Replay, Peach Ball with this newest title that's coming up in December, you kind of think, okay, well, this is kind of the style that they're going to stick with forever, right? But no, like, they're still changing it and iterating on it and making it look different, and it looks like that, and it's looking fantastic. And so one of the things that are really, really getting me curious about Takaki's words, saying revamped in many ways, is, what are they going to revamp? Like, how's the music going to sound like? How's the art style? How's the movement? Are there going to be cutscenes in this? The mechanics. A lot of people kind of complain that the combat mechanics are very similar from one game to the other. So, if they're going to completely redo the combat from the ground up, that would be fantastic. This would definitely make the game stick out in a massive way. And it would really, visually show how much they're changed, with this art style. And yeah, man, like, I really, really want to see some gameplay now with this new graphical art style, with these new character models, and seeing more than one, seeing them in movement, seeing them in action, because, all we have is this animated teaser, and that's 2D animation, that's not gameplay, so we really have to take Takaki's word for it, and just assume that what they're doing for SK7 is freaking big. And of course, we don't have a set release date for the game yet. They didn't even say 2018 or 2019, because all of this is still work in progress, and the last time we heard about this game was that they were still in the idea/planning phases. Chances are, we're going to see a late summer 2019 release. That's my speculation. It'll be a summer 2019 for Japan, and we'll probably see the English version of this on maybe summer 2020, probably like a year after that. And as a way to make time for that release, they'll probably do a lot of PC ports. They'll probably, put out Burst Renewal on PC. I don't know about Peach Ball and Shinobi Replay. Those are Switch exclusives, so maybe we'll be seeing the releases of that in English by that time. It is a little frustrating when Xseed, with its English localization, is just a little bit behind to the Japanese stuff, but that's usually how it is. In fact, the gap has been getting smaller and smaller and smaller over time. I remember with Estival Versus, you had to wait like more than a year, like a year and a half, for the game to come out in English. And now the gap is shortening a little bit, but when you get excited over something like this, it's like, God, I want it now. So yeah, SK7, they kicked it off with that. I got really happy about it, and yeah, that's awesome. The next thing that they showed off was Senran Kagura New Link. Of course, that is their latest phone game that they have going on, is free to play. I'm assuming a lot of people are spending money on that over in Japan. I'm assuming that a big chunk of the money that they're making is from this free to play game, and they keep adding more stuff to it. They keep updating it all the time. They keep adding new characters, and today is no different. They actually added Kagura to the cast of characters. Before they had Naruto, and now they added Kagura. It's a little strange that they didn't just add both of them all at once, but they did it one by one instead. But on top of just adding new characters, they added brand new modes for, Yoma fights. And on top of that, we have brand new cards, the typical stuff. There really isn't anything new to that, right? New cards, a couple new updates, new character. Okay, so is there anything bigger? Well, there's that Yoma mode that I'm not entirely sure how it works yet. I already have my phone updated with the newest version of the game installed. I just haven't tried it out yet. My assumption, and again, this is me assuming things, that is probably going to be similar to Deep Crimson with the Yoma's Nest, where it is essentially a big survival mode to see how long you can last going down to all of these different levels, and you ultimately, at the end, you fight a boss, and it's really hard, and you beat it, right? So maybe this will be something similar, just fighting a bunch of Yoma generals or Yoma bosses. They're supposed to be really, really hard, and I assume that you're going to get rewarded if you complete certain levels, or if you go far enough. Again, I haven't tried it out. Maybe I'll do a live stream where I do, and we'll figure it out together. And on top of that, they also included 2 new types for all of the cards. So if you've played New Link before, you'll know that there's 3 different styles that a character card can have. Well, now they're adding 2 more, and apparently one of the newest Crimson Homura cards is going to have one of those new ones. I personally don't really focus on those styles. I kind of just focus on the character and how hot the picture is, and then I just insert it onto my team. I don't really worry about the yellow and the blue and the red and how it combines against other characters. I'm sure there's sort of like a Fire Emblem thing, where like certain weapons are effective against certain enemies. I'm sure it's like that, but I personally have never really paid attention to that, but maybe now I will if they're adding more of them. It'll certainly add more variety to all of the different teams that you can make, because you only had 3 before, so there'd be obviously some characters repeating the same style. But now, if there's 5, you can definitely have a team of 5 characters, and they each have a different style. So like that, you can cover your bases and, you know, just have a more complete team. Which, hell, that's probably what you might need for that Yoma mode. On top of that, the game is also getting a PC version. I'm assuming this is browser-based in the same way that Dead or Alive Extreme Venus Vacation is also browser-based. You can play this on DMM Games, which is a Japan-only website, I think. Obviously, if you live in Japan, or if you have a Japanese VPN or whatever, so you can have access to Japanese websites, you can go in there, you can play it, presumably for free, and what you can do is that you can actually link your phone to the PC version and just bring all of your information over. So you can, it's like cross-save. So if you want to, you know, play on PC and continue where you left off, you can do that. And on top of that, they also revealed a crossover collaboration with, again, this Venus Vacation Dead or Alive game. As per usual, ever since Estival Versus, they've been crossing over with Dead or Alive all the time, and they seem to have a good relationship with each other. So, yeah, this is really not that surprising. Now, what kind of crossover is going to be, we really don't know. The most predictable thing that we can get out of this is probably just costumes, because in Dead or Alive 5 and in Dead or Alive Extreme 3, we got the transformation outfits for all the Senran Kagura characters onto the DOA game. And on the opposite end of the spectrum, from DOA to Senran Kagura, we have DLC characters like Ayane, Honoka, and Marie Rose making it over to SK. So I don't know what this means. Does it mean that we're gonna get those 3 Senran Kagura crossover characters here in New Link once more? Who knows? There really is no confirmation. Or maybe they'll be just costumes. Again, we really have no idea. All we know is that there's a crossover happening, and that's good. Crossovers are always great. After that, we finally got some big, juicy information on Senran Kagura Anime Season 2, which doesn't really feel like a Season 2 at all. It feels like an entirely different thing. Brought to you by AnimeNewsNetwork.com, we have this article that says, second season reveals visual staff October premiere. So, yes, the guy that directed High School DxD is going to be directing Season 2, which to me, there could not be a more perfect combination. Of course, Takaki is producing this, and they are going with a completely original story to this anime. That's one of the things that I'm very happy about. One of the problems that I had with stuff like the Persona 5 anime was that they were kind of just retreading the same stuff that the game already did, and that wasn't necessarily what I was looking for. I was looking more for brand new stuff, new stories, you know, unseen things that kind of complement the game rather than just copy the game, and I was afraid of that with the Senran Kagura anime. Everybody was kind of predicting that it would just be a retelling of the Shinobi Versus story, just, you know, continuing on from where they left off, which was the Burst story. And so we were afraid that it might be the same art style, and it'd be just as crummy as Season 1. And so, yeah, I was kind of cautiously optimistic, and now that we're seeing this brand new trailer, it seems like they're completely redoing the art style. They have a completely original story that is based around Senran Kagura and New Link, which is great because that's a Japan-only game. We don't really know what the story's about. It's in Japanese. We can't read it, so this will be an entirely new experience for us English-speaking folk. And on top of that, we have Seko and Gecko, and these 2 new Link characters, and of course Fubuki showing up as big participants in the story of this game. There's a big tonal shift towards the end of the trailer. Things get a little bit dramatic. The title of this anime is actually called Shinobi Master, Senran Kagura Shinobi Master Tokyo Yoma Hen. And so this anime will actually premiere in October. And it's August right now. Like, we're literally 2 months away from getting this anime. We went from not knowing anything, when the hell is this gonna show up, to like, oh, it's like right around the corner. And to make it even better, Crunchyroll just confirmed that they will simulcast Senran Kagura Shinobi Mastered anime, which makes sense because they already had the license to stream out Season 1 of the anime, so logically you would be able to stream out Season 2, and that's exactly what they're doing. It'll be available to members worldwide except for Asia, so boo-hoo Asia, sorry to you guys, but yeah, stay tuned for info on exact timing on when these episodes are going to come out. I'm super hyped. We're like literally so close from getting a brand new anime. You bet your ass I'm going to do a reaction series to that, and I will talk about it and maybe even review it by the end of it. We still don't know some bigger details as to like how long is it going to be in terms of episodes, you know, how much comedy, how much seriousness is going to have. It's looking pretty serious. I mean, look at this. This is looking pretty dark. This is not, I mean, this is a completely different tone from Season 1. They're really taking a whole 180. They're taking it a lot more seriously now. Of course, we have these brand new characters that we really haven't seen all that much in animated form. Yumi and, of course, Fubuki. Fubuki is incredibly mysterious. We really don't know much about her. But, of course, Yumi, poster girl, you know, best girl Yumi when it comes to Japan. And you have these kind of like dividing lines with red and blue. It's interesting. I'm liking the visuals for this. I really don't know what the comments are saying here. Just more sexy ninjas, yay. But yeah, this article is literally just confirming that it's happening. We're gonna see it on Crunchyroll with English subs. I'm hyped. On top of that, there's also confirmation that there will be a brand new OVA that will show up on a Blu-ray disc of Season 1 of the anime, which will also include the Estival vs. OVA. So we're gonna get 2 OVAs. You're gonna get Season 1 of the anime on a Blu-ray, plus the Estival vs. OVA, plus a brand new OVA that's going to come with it. So we really don't know the details of that. We don't know how long it'll be. We don't know what it's gonna be about. But hey, you know, I don't know if the visuals here for this image is anything to go by, but I'm excited either way. I really don't know if the OVA is going to be something that shows up on Crunchyroll. There's no confirmation of that. When it comes to OVAs, Crunchyroll doesn't really do it all that much. There's a lot of licensing issues that come with it. So usually what they do, I saw this done with Aremo, where like they have it out for a limited time. It's like, okay, from this day to that day, you can watch the OVA, and after that, it's going to disappear. You won't be able to see it. And so chances are that's, you know, best case scenario, that's what's gonna happen with this OVA. They're gonna be like, okay, for like a week we'll show it and then we'll remove it, right? But you know how the internet is, right? You can find the Estival vs. OVA on YouTube. You usually gotta type Senran Kagura Estival vs. and you'll find it with like Spanish subs or something. And yeah, I mean, like, it's out there on the internet. So chances are this new OVA, if we don't see it in any official capacity, you can sadly probably just type it up on YouTube and find it. So if that wasn't enough Senran Kagura goodness for you, well, you're in luck because we're still not done. We still have one more game to go. Well, actually, 2 games technically. We have Peach Ball Senran Kagura, and we have Shinobi Reflay, which they are adding some new stuff to it. We already mentioned that in a previous video, but now we're gonna get down and dirty into what all that new stuff actually is. So we're going to start off with Peach Ball, the pinball game. So they showed 2 new things. So towards the end of the presentation, they showed gameplay, some pretty long, extensive gameplay of the actual pinball game. And we saw the opening movie for the game as well, which is really cute and nice. Obviously, I saw it live when it happened, but we can definitely show it again and, you know, break it down a little bit. There really isn't a whole lot to break down. It's 2D animated. It's just a nice, cute little thing. And, yeah, it definitely sets the tone for what this game is aiming for. But, yeah, this opening animation is pretty badass. I liked it. It was cute. It was funny. And very well animated, by the way. And it has that Shinobi Reflay art style. It really doesn't seem to go by any previous or future art style that they're hinting at. They're kind of sticking with this Reflay kind of style. And it's cool. It's a good look. I definitely like it a lot. And of course, we have the gameplay. This is around 7 minutes and 44 seconds of Kenichiro Takaki playing and sucking at the game. It seems like the game is very objective focused, very mission focused. I do like the visuals. The game is incredibly colorful, and it has a lot of style. One thing that I don't like is that, you know, you have the 3D model of the girl there, and of course the objective is to give them the antidote that is in your ball, in order to turn them into humans again, rather than the animals that they are now. And there's a lot of small little cinematics and things that show up here that just make me really feel bad for the girls. We're like constantly like hitting them with the ball and sucking them into a challenge and getting them wet and stuff. We're like, you know, just kind of pushing them around a whole lot. Is like we're like they're bullying these girls, and it just makes me feel really bad. But the game does look really fun. I mean, the more I look at it, the more I want to play it. I am concerned over just some basic stuff, you know, is how the physics of the pinball is going to be, how fast it can be, how slow it can be, you know, how many levels are going to be, how many things you can do within those levels, if all of these challenge stages, if these sexy challenges are going to be different, if there's going to be enough of them, or if there's only going to be like the 3 that they show here. If it really is such a small amount, then I am a little concerned. But again, this game won't come out until December, so there's obviously a lot of work that they can do, you know, from now to then. And, yeah, you do have some obstacles. You have, like, little soldiers, you know, showing around. You have, like, airplanes, and they definitely move you around a lot from one place to the other. The flippers are always different, and they do get pretty creative when it comes to the fan service, in using the flippers to, like, you know, make boobs bounce and stuff like that. That is pretty fun. They're definitely, you know, prioritizing having people, you know, have a good time, rather than getting really pedantic and snobbish about pinball, you know? Because, yes, believe it or not, there are very snobby people about pinball, you know? There are a lot of people that are very elitist about, like, the right way to do pinball. I'm personally not like that, but I do feel like I have been spoiled by games like Pinball Arcade and Pinball FX3, and so my standards might be a little higher than it should be, knowing that this is a 2018 pinball game. You can see your stats and your points here on this side of the screen. Based on the formatting of the screen and the cinematics and all the stuff that happens in it, I am a little bit concerned as to the tablet mode and how, you know, that's gonna work. Because this is pinball, I was completely under the assumption that you would be able to take the horizontal screen and flip it vertically and just have a view of the entire table and just sort of play it like that vertically with the touch controls or maybe even with the Joy-Cons. But the more I see this game in movement, the less I believe that, which is a little bit upsetting. But if it simply doesn't translate, then it doesn't translate. I am hoping that they give us, you know, multiple camera perspectives, because if I'm gonna be like pedantic and very like picky about something, it's definitely the camera perspectives, because I really don't enjoy playing it horizontally. I enjoy playing it vertically, and I enjoy it even more playing it in virtual reality. So yeah, it's a little tough for me to like not get, you know, concerned and picky about, you know, what's good and bad about this game. But just based on what I've seen, it's really flashy, it's really colorful. They really seem to have a lot of fun with it. Just my only concerns are just that, you know, just basic technical stuff, physics engine, frame rate, how many levels are going to be, how much content am I going to get for these $50, right? How much DLC they're going to have, because of course they're going to have it. How many characters are going to be at launch, because based on, you know, the art that we have seen for the game, so this is Peach Ball poster art, this is like animal versions of some of these characters, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the girl on the left here is Ryobi. I don't know who the girl on the right is. I'm just going to assume that it may be like Riona or maybe Shiki or something. I really can't tell who it is, but these other girls right here are very easy to recognize. That's Hibari on the left, and that's Yagi on the right. So they are making posters for other characters in animal forms, which means that these brand new characters are a thing. Like, you know, it's not just the 5 characters that we're seeing right now. We are going to be seeing, in some shape, way, or form, other characters in the cast sort of participating in this. The big question is, are they going to be available at launch? And if not, okay, are they going to be DLC? Are they going to be unlockable? How much are they going to cost? Are they going to come bundled with a pinball table, or is it just the character, right? This is the thing that is really scaring me, because as of late, Senran Kagura has been absolute dog shit when it comes to DLC. They have nickeled and dimed you so much, and they have taken away so much content just to charge you for it later, that I am genuinely very nervous that the DLC practices might be the thing that just puts a bullet on this game and just kills it, because I really want to get as much content as possible for my 4,980 yen that, you know, I'm going to be spending on this game. And of course, it's pretty obvious that this game is going to make it over here in the West via Xseed. We just don't know when, and if it's coming out in December in Japan, then yeah, we're probably going to get it Like, by the time we hear more stuff about SK7, we're barely going to be getting Peach Ball here. We haven't even gotten Reflay here. We haven't even gotten fucking Burst Renewal here. So we're like 2, 3, 4 games behind on this shit. So, yeah, there's a lot of stuff here that we really already know about a lot, but we just haven't seen it in its English form. And so, yeah, let me rephrase that. You know, when it comes to English localization, we're definitely going to get it. The question is when. Definitely a big, big when, because we're still waiting on 2 games, Reflay and Burst Renewal. So, like, when are we going to get Peach Ball? When are we going to get the phone game, if we're ever going to get, you know, the phone game? When it comes to SK7, you know, when is it? We don't even know when it's going to come out in Japan. So, yeah, there's a lot of just waiting on dates and more information and how much content we're gonna get, you know? The gameplay, I mean, honestly, it is looking pretty solid. Like, it legitimately looks like it is going to be a good game. But, the problem is just quality of life stuff, you know? Like, you know, how many, are they gonna update the game regularly? You know, how much more content they're gonna add into it? You know, what's already gonna be included? Is there gonna be a story to it? How big is it gonna be? I just don't want to get another Bon Appetit situation where, like, you know, half the game is like a separate purchase or something like that. There's just a lot of, like, nervous, paranoid concerns that I have about this game that hopefully do not turn out to be true. There are a lot of stuff here, you know, just looking at the footage. I mean, I'm seeing that the ball just kind of falls to the center a lot, and that's super frustrating. A lot of the basic pinball stuff, like shaking, you know, motion controls to, like, shake the pinball table to move it to a certain angle. You know, there's certain tricks here that I'm really not seeing here. But then again, this is just 7 minutes of footage, and they still have, like, another 5 months to work on this game. So, you know, chances are the game is going to be pretty different by the time it actually sees its release. I really don't know if I'm going to buy the Japanese version because of the pricing. I would probably have to rely on donations for that, you know, just have people donate on the stream, and I'll just use that money to buy the game. But because honestly, I am highly concerned as to how the DLC practices are going to be. They have taken it very far right now, especially with Burst Renewal. So I am definitely nervous at, you know, the business practices rather than the actual game itself, because the game is looking really solid. I just hope that it doesn't get ruined because of it. And now the final thing that we can mention is the brand new Reflexology Massage stuff that is going to be added into the game. Obviously, if you get the limited edition of Peach Ball, you're going to get the premium version of Shinobi Reflay that just comes with everything. However, if you don't get the limited edition and you just have the digital version of Shinobi Reflay, all of this is going to be DLC for an extra cost. So, hey, you know, typical. But everything was introduced with these very cute, very lewd and funny illustrations, especially with Katsuragi in the corner just freaking out and losing her shit over all of this. The first one, it seems like there's going to be like a little like octopus toy that just like sucks on a girl's butt. So that's one thing that you can do. The second one is literally just tickling. You can shout out to Katsuragi. Bleeding there, I don't think is that big of a deal. It's just tickling. And then the third one is going to be feet. I'm personally not into feet at all, and if you're into it, I'm not gonna think less of you for it. I just don't like seeing it. So yeah, these brand new reflexology things are not the most appealing thing in the world for me. I mean, the game in general is very small and doesn't really have a whole lot going for it. So, yeah, if you're interested in feet and tickling and butt sucking, then you can definitely spend 1,000 more yen on these little things. I just wish that they added more story to it, because I'm assuming that this is all just with the same story that you can already complete in like 3 to 4 hours. So, yeah, if you haven't gone through all of those stories already, then you have very little reason to see this. It's like $10 for like these things that you do for like a minute each. So, I do question, you know, how much you actually need to have this DLC. If you really want it, then I would recommend just getting the premium version through the limited edition. So there we go. That in a nutshell was the Senran Kagura new title presentation for 2018. Even though there was a lot of talking and faffing about and them playing games and showing a bunch of stuff that I personally was not interested in, they did legitimately show a whole lot of new information. My number one most favorite thing is definitely the brand new 3D model for Asuka and SK7. Every single time we see more of this game, I lose my mind just a little bit more. The second most favorite thing that I got out of this presentation is definitely Season 2 of the anime. The director for High School DxD is also directing this. Kenichiro Takaki is producing. All of the voice actors are back. They're adding the new Link characters. Everything is setting itself up. An original story as well. Everything is being set up for this to be miles and miles better than Season 1. And the third place for my most favorite stuff in this presentation has to be Peach Ball. The game legitimately looks really good. I'm personally a massive pinball fan, so just seeing all of my favorite characters and stuff in there is definitely going to be something that I'll enjoy, with an asterisk, again, with all those concerns with DLC and content and the price point. That's something that I'm definitely going to be cautious about, and yeah, hopefully it doesn't, you know, result in the way that we're expecting it, which is just the 5 characters and that's it. Based on the posters and the art, chances are we're going to get more characters, but whether it's DLC or not, we'll have to wait and see. But overall, the presentation for this year was fairly solid, even if it did get taken down by YouTube. But yeah, you know, whatever we were able to get, it was some pretty good stuff. That'll definitely whet our appetite and hold us over for the eventual release of all these games. So go ahead and let me know what your favorite parts of the presentation was. What are you guys most excited about? What are your concerns? I definitely have my own concerns. For the most part, I'm pretty hype about everything. It's just all of the stuff in between, like business practices, that are kind of scaring me a little bit. But overall, if the game is good, the game is good, and if it's not, it's not. So if you guys enjoyed this little recap overview of the entire thing, be sure to give this video a like, subscribe, bell icon, social media links down in the description down below, and of course, leave your comments, let me know what you think, and I will see you guys next time for some more videos. Senran Kagura related stuff, who knows? This is about as much as I've been able to, you know, gather up. If there's obviously some brand new information coming out, then I will make a video on it. There are a whole bunch of other stuff that I want to talk about, not just Senran Kagura related, but, you know, this was like the big hype thing right now, so that was the main focus for the past few days. I will be talking about other different stuff, but, yeah, and I will be doing a new Link stream at some point, so, you know, if you guys want to tune into the live stream and watch me, you know, try and get Kagura and fail at the gacha, then you're welcome to, you know, get onto the live stream and see me suffer. So, yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.